The Way of the Superior Man, a spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of woman, work, and sexual desire. Chapter 15. Stop hoping for your woman to get easier. A woman often seems to test her man's capacity to remain unperturbed in his truth and purpose. She tests him to feel his freedom and depth of love, to know that he is trustable. Her test may come in the form of complaining, challenging him, changing her mind, doubting him, distracting him, or even undermining his purpose in a subtle or not so subtle way. A man should never think his woman's testing is going to end and his life will get easier. Rather, he should appreciate that she does these things to feel his strength, integrity, and openness. Her desire is for his deepest truth and love. As she grows, so will her testing. Every moment of your life is either a test or a celebration. The same is true about every moment with your woman, only doubly so. Not only is her simple existence a test for you, but one of her deepest pleasures in intimacy is testing you, and then feeling you are not moved off course by her challenge. The most erotic moment for a woman is feeling that you are Shiva, the divine masculine, unperturbable, totally loving, fully present, and all pervading. She cannot move you because you already are what you are, with or without her. She cannot scare you away because you already penetrate her in fearless love, pervading her heart and body. She cannot distract you because your one-pointed commitment to truth will not bend to her wiles. Feeling this hugeness of love and freedom in you, she can trust you utterly and surrender her testing and celebration of love until she wants to feel you as Shiva again, and then the testing will begin anew. In fact, it is precisely when you are most Shiva-like that she will most test you. Perhaps you've been working towards some financial goal and finally you have succeeded. After months or years of effort, you have creatively earned a large amount of money. You feel happy, full, successful. You feel great. You come home to your woman and want to share the news with her. I just made $1 million today. That's nice. That's nice. You know how hard I've been working for this. I know, it feels like I haven't seen you in months. Did you remember to pick up the milk on the way home? Oh, sorry, I forgot, but who cares? We could buy a dairy farm now. I asked you to pick up the milk 3 times this morning, and I put a note on your briefcase. How could you forget? I said I'm sorry. Look, I'll go get the damn milk. Why is she being this way? Because she simply wants to deflate your success. No. She is challenging you because your success doesn't mean shit to her unless you are free and loving. If you are free and loving, nothing she says can collapse you. She wants to feel you are uncollapsible. So she pokes you in your weak spot. Of course, she knows how much this moment of success means to you. This is precisely why she is negating it. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because she wants to feel Shiva. She wants to feel your strength. She wants to feel that your happiness is not dependent on her response, nor on you making $1 million. She wants to feel you are a superior man. It's a tall order to be this free, and in your more mediocre moments, you will wish your woman would settle for less. But if you are a man who is living his fullest, willing to play his edge and grow through difficulties, then you will want her to test you. You may not like it, but you don't want her to settle for some bozo who depends on his woman's response to be happy. If you are aligned with your mission, you are essentially happy, even though times cycle between difficult and easy. You don't need your woman's strokes to fulfill your mission. It still feels good when she strokes you, but you don't need mommy anymore, telling you what a good boy you are. And your woman doesn't want you to need mommy. In fact, it sickens her. If your woman is weak, she may settle for a weak man and therefore play into your need to feel like a good boy. But if she is a good woman, a strong woman, she won't tolerate your childish needs for a pat on the head, collecting bigger toys, and being king of the mountain. A good woman will love the childlike part of you, but she wants your life to be guided by your deepest truths, not your untended childhood wounds. She wants to feel that at your core, you have grown beyond the need for kudos and million-dollar toys. She wants to feel your self-generated strength of truth. So she will test you. She might not be fully conscious of why she is doing it, but she will poke your weak spots, especially in moments of your superficial success, in order to feel your strength. If you collapse, you flunk the test. You have let your woman deflate you. You have demonstrated your dependence on her for external validation. Even if you just made $1 million, you are a weak man. Your woman cannot trust you fully. If you remain full and strong, humorous and happy, your truth unperturbed by her testing, then you pass the test. Honey, I'll get you some milk, all right. You say as you sweep her off the ground and lay her on the couch, laughing, kissing, looking deeply into her eyes, and milking her happiness with the confident loving of your caresses. She can relax and trust your Shiva core. She can surrender the tensions around her heart. You are trustable. You don't need her validation in order for you to be loving. You simply are loving. The truth of you is love. Your fullness is independent of mommy. You are not only a man, you are a superior man. A man who does his best to live as love in the world and in his intimacy. A man whose heart remains open and whose truth remains strong even when his woman criticizes him. A man who can find the humor in forgetting to pick up the milk on a day he made $1 million. This is the kind of man your woman can trust. Now, the moment is a moment of celebration. Now she can relax and truly join in your jubilation, knowing you are not dependent on her praise for your happiness. It will last perhaps 10 minutes, and then she will test you again. It never ends. A woman will always test her man for the pleasure of feeling his strength and loving, his capacity to transcend nuance, his persistence in his own truth, and his capacity to share that truth and love with her, even when she is complaining, especially when she is complaining. Her complaint is the beginning of her pleasure. It is not true criticism, but a test of your Shivahood. The criticism is entirely dissolved in love as soon as she feels your humor and happiness in the midst of the poke. It never ends. This is the secret. You can't get out of it. Finding a different woman won't get you out of it. Therapy won't get you out of it. Financial or sexual mastery won't get you out of it. Your woman is testing you because she loves you. She wants to feel your truth. She wants to feel your love. And she wants to feel that your truth and love are stronger than the barbs she can throw at you. Then she can relax and surrender into the polarity of man and woman. Then she can trust you. The most loving women are the women who will test you the most. She wants you to be your fullest, most magnificent self. She won't settle for anything less. She knows it is true of you. She knows in your deepest heart you are free. You are Shiva. Anything less than that she will torment. And as you know, She's quite good at it. Yet if your purpose is to be free, you wouldn't have it any other way. Okay, this brings us to the end of chapter 15 and the end of part 1 of The Way of the Superior Man. Reflecting on this chapter and just really trying to take those words or the author's words into my mind and my ego, I can't help but think about a poem that I learned called The Test of a Man. And I'm going to recite it for you right quick because I think it is very relevant. The test of a man is the fight that he makes, the grit that he daily shows, the way that he stands upon his feet and takes life's numerous bumps and blows. A coward can smile when there's naught to fear, when nothing his progress bars. But it takes a man to stand and cheer while the other fellow stars. It isn't the victory after all, but the fight that a brother makes. A man who, driven against the wall, still stands erect and takes the blows of fate. With his head held high, bleeding and bruised and pale, is the man who will win and fate defy, for he isn't afraid to fail. It's the hurdles you mount and the breaks you get and the shocks your courage stands. The hour of sorrow and vain regret for the prize that escapes your hands. That test your mettle and prove your worth. It isn't the blows you deal, but the blows you take on this good old earth that show if your stuff is real. The author of this poem is telling you it in a different way, but to be a man and to exist down here on this plane is to be tested. Now, life tests all of us, men and women alike, but the tests that we are presented with are going to be different because our nature dictates that it must be so. I think the first time I read this book and I came across this chapter, I didn't really understand what the author meant by your woman will test you. I was single at the time. But now being in a relationship, it becomes evident. When a woman chooses a man, she is putting a lot of her fate in his hands. Because as he goes, so will she. So it makes sense that she is going to test the man that she is with to make sure he is up for the task of leading. Brothers, we have a lot of responsibility on our plate. If you want to be a father, a husband, just a man in general, there's a lot that depends on us being able to withstand tests and pass them. I'm reading another book right now called The Book at War, and it's talking about different societies throughout history and how books have shaped their idea of conflict. But one thing remains constant is that when men go off to fight a war, the consequences of them losing or winning that war is going to be felt by the people of their nation, especially their women and children. I realize it is not an easy task, but growth doesn't happen in ease. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. One of the things that I know that I have to work on is my adaptability. Because I'm a military brat, I've gotten used to adapting to different environments. Whatever environment that I find myself in, I'll find a way to get comfortable with it. And that's not necessarily a good thing. You need that level of discomfort to push you into something else. There's remember in The Dark Knight Rises, when Bane first fought Batman, Batman was getting his butt whooped, honestly. And Bane said, victory has defeated you. And that's real. Like he'd gotten soft after the Joker died and they passed the Dent Act. He was out of action for a long time. And the same thing, this same lesson is presented all over the place. I remember in Frank Herbert's book, Dune, the Emperor at the beginning of the book had a fighting force that was the most feared in all the universe. And because they were the most feared, And they were so used to winning battles, when they came across the Fremen, they were unprepared. Their victory had made them soft. So again, I'm reading this book for my benefit primarily. And I hope you guys can get something from this as well. Now, fellas, share this with other men that you know can use this, who need to hear it. Share this with the young men in your life that you know. Share this with the older men in your life as well. Ladies, if you're listening to this, share this with the men in your life and listen to it for yourself so you can recognize when you come across a superior man. You may know it intuitively, but it's good to be able to put some concrete ideas to that as well. I know some of you are probably raising sons by yourselves and they don't have father figures around. Find him a male mentor. Let him listen to this book as well. But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Share this. This is a message that is powerful, that I believe more men need to hear. Because when we have weak men, that is when you have a society that collapses. But all right, you guys take it easy. And I'll catch y'all in part 2 in chapter 16. Peace.